Hey everyone, Damon here, and welcome to my Shadowhunter PvP guide. Now, if you just want the builds and stat allocation, here it is. It's also in the description. I just threw this out now in case you're one of those guys. But if you want to know how these skills work and some tips on them, then stick around. So what the heck is Shadowhunter's style in PvP? It's basically a poke class with ranged assists. This class isn't a frontline fighter and doesn't have many armors as much as other classes do. Shadowhunter also does well in 1v1 scenarios and can pick off certain targets. While the class is a hybrid melee / ranged class, its class identity is a gauge which fills up when you hit enemies with your skills. This gauge transforms you into a demon, which is purely melee. I'll cover this later on in the video. So I did just show it earlier, but the stats you use are 1000 Swiftness, 250 Domination, or if you want to just have a little fun, you can just put 1 point in crit. It's purely optional. It's just for RNG fun. So the first move up is Demonic Slash. Put 10 points into this and take tripods 1-3-1. This is one of your mobility skills. It's 2 dashes and gives you a short movement speed buff after each dash. This move is great for making distance or closing the gap. It is also one of the few armors you have on this class. Because you don't have a lot of super armor, overextending with this move can be dangerous. Next move is Grind Chain. 10 points into this, take tripods 2-2-1. This move is a ranged attack. You throw your weapons out in a straight line and they return, dealing damage on the way back. It also slows the target when you hit them. This is one of your main pokes, and its big range is what makes it very annoying for the enemy to deal with. Because the way camera angles are in PvP, you can actually throw this out off screen from the enemy's point of view, and it'll just come out of nowhere for them. This move also sets up a lot of your combos, which I will cover later on. Demonic Clone, 10 points into this, take tripods 3-3-2. It's very important you take the third tripod in the first tier because that tripod grants the skill Paralysis Immunity. Without it, you will just get interrupted super easily. This move summons a demon and deals 2 blows on the ground. It's basically a JoJo stand. The second blow knocks up enemies. This move is used in almost all your bread and butter combos and deals really good damage to enemies. Next move is Thrust Impact. 10 points into this one as well, take tripods 3-2-2. This move is usually used as a combo finisher. It knocks back enemies in a cone in front of you and pushes you a short distance backwards. I don't think there is much else to touch on this move, it's pretty simple. Sharpened Cut, put 7 points into this and take tripods 1 and 3. It's a single short dash which deals damage in a small AoE around you. This attack behaves kind of like Demonic Slash. It has paralysis immunity and is used to either close the gap or make distance. It does have a longer cooldown than Demonic Slash, so keep that in mind. It also comes out really fast, so you can potentially catch people off guard when they aren't doing anything. Rising Claw is an uppercut. Put 7 points into this and take tripods 2-1. Like Demonic Clone, this skill also has a tripod that grants the skill Paralysis Immunity. This skill knocks up opponents and is used in the middle of combos or to extend combos. Rising Claw actually comes up pretty quick, and because it has Paralysis Immunity, you can potentially use it to catch aggressive people off guard. Piercing Thorn is a ranged AoE knockup. 10 points into this and take tripods 3-2-2. This move is great for catching people off guard or to interrupt combos to help your team or yourself out. Just keep in mind the cast time. Compared to your other skills, this one has a bit of cast time and it also doesn't have any kind of super armor, meaning it can be very easily interrupted. Demon Vision is a laser beam. Max this skill to 10 points and take tripods 1-1-1. This move is a hard CC and stuns enemies caught in the beam for 1.5 seconds. Just like with Piercing Thorn, use this with care as it has a little bit of cast time and no kind of super armor, meaning it's very easy to interrupt. Since this move has hard CC, it can set up for all your combos as well as your team. Use this with care as it actually has a pretty long cooldown. The combos on this class are actually pretty simple. You would usually start your combos after staggering an enemy with one of your ranged attacks, most likely Grind Chain or Demon Vision. A lot of these combos can combo into each other, but I will show some example combos. Sharpen Cut into Demon Clone into Thrust Impact is a combo. So is Demonic Slash into Rising Claw into Thrust Impact. One important thing to note is that just after Demonic Clone or Rising Claw, you may need to spacebar dash to get close enough to Thrust Impact to work, if you aren't close enough to the target. Otherwise, the Thrust Impact will miss due to its short range. But if you are close to the target already, then it will work. These are just some example combos, but a lot of these moves can be mixed and matched with each other. I mentioned earlier that your ranged attacks like Demon Visions also set up for combos. Same thing with Grind Chain. For example, shocking the person with Demon Vision and then doing one of the combos I mentioned will work. You could potentially throw in a few extra moves into the combo. Just be mindful of the scales immunity, as making your combo too long can trigger that and can cause a punish. Also, if you know your opponent doesn't have their spacebar dash up, you can actually catch them with a Grind Chain into a Demon Vision right after. Though I will say that this isn't a guarantee. It's weird, it works sometimes. In my experience in the arena, it's a weird behavior, but I usually do try to go for it. So I did mention in the beginning of the video, I would talk about alternate tripods you could do in this build. So you can actually max Rising Claw and add the second tripod in the third tier. This adds an explosion just after the uppercut, keeping the opponent in the air longer, thus increasing the damage and also lowering the chance of you having to use your spacebar dash for the last hit of Thrust Impact in your combos. But seeing as you need to allocate skill points into the skill, you can make Demon Vision have only 7 points. This does make the skill worse in damage and range and speed, and the skill becomes a charge up skill. And don't worry about the charge, you still have the shock regardless of how much charge. However, now that Demon Vision comes out slower, it does have a little bit extra cast time, and Grind Chain into Demon Vision is not as reliable as it was before. So Shadowhunter's class identity is Demon Form. You fill up the gauge by hitting your skills. The purple skills will fill up the gauge faster. While in Demon Form, you have paralysis immunity for the duration, and you also heal a small amount upon transformation. While you are transformed, you are temporarily a melee class. I'm going to be brief about the skills. You have 6 skills in this form. 1 is a dash attack, and 3 of them are just attacks in front of you or in an AoE in front of you. You have a jump that upon landing causes an earthquake, and the last skill is an AoE attack around you that deals a lot of damage if it hits. Landing the earthquake into the AoE is a big damage and a confirm, assuming another enemy doesn't knock you out of it, but if you can land it, it is really good damage. Just remember that you have no push immunity skills in this form, so you can be knocked out of all your skills here. So Shadowhunter actually has an unusual basic attack. Normally you would just hold down the button on other classes, but on this class, if you time the last hit right, it deals additional damage and knocks up. When you throw the weapon out, click when the purple flash appears on your character to perform it. It's not like you'll be using this occasionally, but I thought I should mention it in case you ever have to. As for awakening skills, I don't have the English name, but use Chaos Gate. It's basically the one where you put a giant AoE. This is a multi-hit, it helps build gauge, and it fears people inside. Chances are if you get someone in there, you will have a full gauge. Don't use the other one, that one is only used while you're in demon form, and to be honest, it's kinda doo-doo. But anyways, that about is all I wanted to cover for Shadowhunter PvP. Hopefully this helps the newer players out in learning this class and getting started. Make sure to sub to stay tuned for future uploads. I will be recording some beta footage, so videos are planned. And have a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you're from. See ya!